So I want to share with you 10 things that I think have made me more productive, sleep better, and generally feel happier. And while it's definitely the case that accumulating loads of stuff isn't the secret to happiness, I do think all of these items that are all relatively cheap have enhanced my life significantly. So before we go ahead and dive into the items themselves, I very quickly want to share how I came up with this list. And I think I tried to apply the kind of idea that I try to apply whenever I'm buying anything, and it's from William Irvine's book, The Guide to the Good Life. It's this idea that you imagine that you are the only person left in the world. It's exactly the same world as we live in now, but there's been a massive apocalypse and everyone else is dead. And feels strange at first, but basically what this forces us to do is when we're buying anything is to think, am I buying this because it serves a purpose for me and makes me happier? Or am I buying it just to impress other people? So let's dive in, and just to say that these are all gonna be kind of non-tech focused tools, and I will make another video in which I share my favorite tech, but I think these tools, if anything, have had more of an impact on my life than tech has. So first up is a pair of these bad boys, some blue light blocking glasses. And yeah, these are from Barna. They cost £50 for them without prescription, but with a prescription is like £35 more. Beth and I both have a pair and both love them. So the glasses basically block blue light from getting to your eyes. And the science here is that your body produces a biochemical called melatonin in order to induce sleep. And light suppresses, and particularly blue light suppresses, the production of melatonin. So by wearing these glasses, particularly towards the end of the day, you should be helping your body to produce melatonin and therefore make it easier for you to fall asleep. So a 2020 study by Christopher Barnes, published in the Harvard Business Review, tested two groups of people. One group with a pair of sham glasses and the other with real blue light blocking glasses. The people wearing the blue light glasses were able to sleep for 5 to 6% longer. They had 11 to 14% better sleep. They had a work engagement level that was 8% higher than the other group. They also then had positive, helpful work behaviors up by around 17%, and fewer negative work behaviors by around 11%. 12%. They also help with remembering numbers. So I spend pretty much all day, every day, sat in front of a screen. And while I don't wear these for the whole day, I generally just put them on in the afternoon or early evening, I've found that they're anti-glare, and as someone who's never, fortunately, had to wear glasses, I don't really notice that I have them on. Plus, I think Beth may actually find me more attractive when I'm wearing these. Bruce Banner effect, hey? Okay, so next up we have travel coffee cups, and Beth has this one, which is the Frank Green ceramic large coffee cup, and I have the Nespresso Nomad coffee cup. They're both between 20 and £30. Now I used to have, and still do use, one of these kind of Starbucks like plastic mugs. They look very aesthetic for the Instagram shots, and they're also kind of great for having just on your desk, especially if you're prone to spilling things like I am. But because you can't fully close them, I think that for putting in a backpack and, for example, like carrying, walking around on a walk, these Nespresso or Frank Green ones are even better. So Beth and I regularly take our cups out on long walks with us and then just put them in my backpack when we're done. Another top tip for you UK folks is that if you take them into a Pret, you get 50p off your coffee. So that makes a filter coffee just 49p. And overall, as a money saving item, if you are spending, for example, around £4 a day on a coffee, which is really easy to do if you're getting like milk and, you know, all the other stuff that people have with coffees, then you're probably spending about £1,000 a year on coffee alone. And if you compound that over 20 years at 8%, which is what you would get on the stock market if you invested that money, that comes to around £50,000. So I'm not saying never get coffee from Starbucks, never treat yourself, but if you're doing it every day, it might be worth investing in a Nespresso coffee machine and using one of these bad boys. Next up, we have investing in a decent yoga mat. Now, this one is around £30 from Amazon. I think it's the Toplus. I'm not sure how you're supposed to say it. The 2+. And yeah, I think I spent years with a really rubbish yoga mat that left bits all over the floor whenever I did a workout or a stretch. And it just made the overall experience of using it pretty rubbish. So I think psychologically, just spending a little bit more money on the mat means you're probably that much more likely to use it, similar to if you have an expensive gym membership. And second of all, I think anything, at least for me, that I can do to remove the friction involved in just doing that 5-minute morning workout, a few push-ups, or that morning stretch is kind of worth the expense. So next up is the Neom Diffuser, which was a present I got for Beth as an excuse to buy this bad boy for myself. And it is a bit expensive at around £90, but I've got to say it has this lovely soft light and also smells really, really great. We use the White Company oils with it. So it's not exactly what I would call a must-have, but Beth and I do put it on pretty much every night when we go to sleep, and we also often bring it into the office to reduce stress levels. I also think if you live in a city, or at least in London, we found that when we first moved here, our eyes would be really dry and our skin just generally dry when we woke up on a morning, and having a humidifier or a diffuser has, at least I think, improved that. I also know tons of people who meditate regularly and use a diffuser or humidifier as part of that process. I can't. So next up, don't be fooled by this sexy packaging. We have the Alaska Bear eye mask, and it comes in a whopping £8. Look at that. It's beautiful. So it's a bit of a rogue one. It's not included for those of you looking to unleash your inner Christian Grey. I can personally attest that it's not a good idea to send a photo like this, captioned "I'm ready" to your girlfriend's family chat. I meant to say I'm ready for bed because we've been joking about the eye mask earlier in the day, but it probably didn't look like that. But seriously, it's a silk eye mask. It has double straps on the back and does stay on my face really well all night. I'm crazily light sensitive, so often find myself waking up at 5 a.m. if there's any light coming into the room, certainly in summer. So if we ever go traveling or just to someone else's house, I will take this with me and probably wear it. It's such a small thing, but I have found that a good night's sleep makes such a huge difference to my overall mood and productivity. It's well worth a buy. And with all these tools making me more productive, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, which is another tool I've been using for ages now to make me not only more productive, but also more creative: Skillshare. Skillshare taught me how to edit my videos when I was first starting out on YouTube with their amazing classes on Final Cut Pro, as well as their online learning community to help answer my questions. One of the best courses I've taken recently was Thomas Frank's course, Productivity for Creatives. It's massively helped me up the quality of my videos, I think, and be more consistent where I previously had struggled to post regularly. So yeah, as part of investing in myself, I often dedicate time to learning new things on Skillshare, whether that be editing sweet Instapics or living more sustainably. Skillshare has enabled me to connect with fellow creatives and motivated me to never stop learning. I personally have been subscribed to Skillshare, as I say, for a year and a half now, so I'm really excited to have them as a sponsor. The first 1,000 people to use the link in my description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership, and after that it's really affordable at just $10 a month. Plus, very excitingly, I have my own Skillshare class coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. So we're over halfway, and next up is this bad boy, my Bookstand, and this has always caught people's attention in my desk setup videos. It's the only desk setup type tool I'm gonna share, but this I've had since I was 18, I think, and I've used it consistently ever since. It costs £20. I think it looks really great. It gives a splash of color to my desk, and it can handle, if you're studying, pretty much any textbook. And even now, Beth and I still use ours as kind of desk tidies. Beth puts her little mini whiteboard, Filofax, notebooks in it, so they are on your desk within easy reach, but also kind of cleared off your desk to maximize workspace. Okay, next is the RhinoShield Solidsuit, which is the case I have on my iPhone. I have the royal blue one with dark blue buttons. I think they're pretty great. It's not necessarily the most slimline phone case I've ever owned, but I have dropped my phone several times, pretty badly, since having this on it, and have sustained no damage, fortunately. The Mod N 10X I also tried out on my work phone. Like, I think it still looks pretty cool, probably not as cool as the other one in my opinion, but worth checking out if you're into that kind of thing. Yeah, so if you are clumsy like me, I would say both of those phone cases are probably worth a try. So next up, another slightly rogue tool, this bad boy, and you do need to be professionally trained before you use it. It's a water flosser, and I'd never personally come across these until I saw my stepmom using one, and then Beth actually bought me one for Christmas. Don't have an 8-year relationship, guys. This is what you end up getting each other for Christmas. But like, as an oral hygiene item, it is actually great. Like, flicking floss stuff everywhere is just kind of gross. And this is much quicker to use, much better, much more effective cleaning. Overall, just like an amazing oral hygiene experience. So provided you shut your mouth while using it to avoid the water going everywhere and aren't just a complete mug like I was when I first started using it, I would 100% recommend. So the penultimate tool is one that I mentioned a few times before. It's my Ekster pop-out wallet. These are so cool. I had the leather one before and have gone down to the even more slimline aluminium version. I personally really just love these. They fit into skinny jeans, my nice skinny jeans, really nicely without bulging out too much. They're also kind of, that card mechanism is just so flipping satisfying, and they have a lining inside of them to protect your cards from being swiped when you're out and about. In terms of the difference between the aluminium and leather versions, I personally absolutely loved the leather one I had before. I decided to give this aluminium version that's even sleeker a try, but yeah, I'm loving them both. So yeah, this is the one I'm using for now, but either is pretty cool. Nearly finally, because I'm gonna have a bonus one and a bit of a cheat because it is £150, is my Daniel Wellington rose gold watch. I know tons of people like slated me in an old desk setup video for saying this was massively overpriced. I personally really love it. I think it looks great. The leather strap has lasted me. I've had this for 7 years and has lasted insanely well. I think it looks fantastic. I mean, it's 7 years old and still looks pretty much the same in the version you can buy today. For me, it's like pretty timeless, super slimline, sleek, looks awesome with anything you wear. Yeah, 100% recommend. I really like this. One thing to say on having a watch is that I know that obviously we can all check the time on our phones, but for me, at least when I was at uni, in classes, and even now in work meetings, it often can seem a bit rude to get your phone out and start checking it. People aren't sure what you're doing. So if a lecture is dragging, you can quickly check to see how long you have left without the lecturer screaming at you for going on your phone. And bonus item number 11 is, I mean, it's hardly a tool, but I just love them so much, is a peace lily. I got this from Patch, which is a great website in the UK, highly recommend. Pot and plant for like £25. They look great, add vibrancy to your workspace, and overall I think are a fantastic middle ground for those of you like me with girlfriends who want dogs, because I failed to make my last plant, Jennifer, RIP, survive, and so that was just living proof that I am not yet ready to look after anything else. We're on round 2 here. We have got some dead bits, not gonna lie, but I'm hoping that's just the winter months. But yeah, I 100% recommend getting a plant for your office or desk. They look great, they're really cheap. I want more plant babies. Yeah, so yeah, that's my top 10 non-tech tools. And just to say that if you've got any stuff that you think would enhance my life, I'd really love to hear about it down in the comments. So yeah, let me know any ideas for stuff you think would enhance my life. And if you liked the kind of approach of this video of being really intentional with the stuff that you're buying, go and check out my video about minimalism, where I share 5 minimalist habits Beth and I are trying to implement into our own lives to be much more conscious of what we're buying and the stuff we have. Please do remember to subscribe to my channel if you're enjoying my videos, and we'll speak again very soon.